I bless up, one love. Welcome back or welcome to Rasta family. I'm Ghetto Rasta Locks, and on this channel we talk. It's really all geared towards mental health, but we address little funny issues in different ways, just to kind of really make it relate and understood why mental health is important. So we compare it to like different topics and different things, and see how it can come along. So if this is your first time getting to this channel, we just wrapped up our first saga, which is the Monopoly saga. It came in part 1, 2, and 3. I would suggest going and checking that out in that sequence of order, just so you can get that concept. If you don't watch it in order, you're not going to understand. Also, I would like to tell y'all, like, these are videos that take a moment because it has a message. You know what I mean? I can't rush it out. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't work that way. So if you need something to help you sit, get something to drink, get something to smoke if that's what you're into. Like, honestly, whatever sits you down and makes you focus that you want to do that and be able to listen to the, you know what I'm saying, ideas that we bouncing within each other. Pause, you know what I'm saying, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, like, share, subscribe. Now we're on a new, we're taking a break and going to a new topic before we go into our other saga. Okay? And this is like, good vibes, one love, grill, men's talk, family. Before anything, I want everybody to understand, men's talk doesn't just mean for men. This is geared towards men, but this obviously goes out without saying. We're talking about women's talk, teen talk, and, you know what I'm saying, children, toddler talk, all that. And then a mix of the family talk discussion. You know what I mean? It's all that. But because it's geared towards men, I did title a segment Men's Talk, okay? And I do look down, for those who don't know that I look down. I'm going to try to get better with my looking down, because I think it makes people think I'm either not keeping the concept, but it is for me to keep the concept. It's hard to make sure I stay on track with my ideas, because there's a lot of ideas that come to my mind and my head. Let me see, these are crazy long. Anyway, let's get into it. Welcome back, or welcome to Ghetto Rasta Locks. We've been talking real talk. Let's take a little lighter. We already covered the village, Gone Too Soon, and just finished our first saga, Monopoly, in 30 parts. If you haven't seen that, please go check that out and come back. Today we are talking grill, men's talk, family talk. Why we need the small wins to enjoy life. Keep good energy, because we have to understand that life is a setup, but we have to enjoy small wins for our peace, because it's needed. So let's get into it. Segment 1, grill. The teacher of timing, patience, and wisdom. So grilling, I'll say again that the segment is titled Grill, but within the segment we're going to talk about how it teaches you the timing, patience, and wisdom. You don't get it. Grilling isn't just about cooking food. It's deeper than that. It's about feeding loved ones, self. This is where a lot of young men learn to cook as men. Learning how to time the cooking, the different temperatures, how to control the fire, and how to smoke it. You can't rush it, or the outside will be done, but the inside raw or not ready. With this becomes patience. Relax. Understand that the slowdown sometimes is to be on time and to be ready. The slowdown to be on time and be ready is to be done correctly. It's not performative. You're not trying to rush everything out and then it's all appear to be done, and then once you do it, you like, I did it wrong. So, you know what I'm saying, over time, you're going to mess it up. Grilling and things like that. But it's a fun time. You know what I'm saying, you just grilling. It's a nice time to relax. You know what I'm saying, we got the fire going. You watching everything. You observing the world. You know what I'm saying, so it's that. This turns, and from turning something raw into done, most men learn wisdom. This comes from self-peace of the mind, the heart, and the spirit. Self-peace of the mind, heart, and spirit. A place you can find within oneself to be okay to sit down, think, control fire, and just observe the world. You're not looking for validation or seeking guidance. You are just in the presence of life. This is where some men start learning when they grill, and you'll see a lot of older men, they'll grill and they just watch the world. Because as you slow down, so to speak, you watch the world move. So you see squirrels go up the trees and things like that. And like this is a certain type of vibe, and you just sitting. Some having a brew, or you know what I'm saying, something to smoke again, or anything. You just hanging out. Sorry, my hair keeps getting to the back of me. It's irritating me. And you just kind of hanging out and watching life go by, in a faster measure a little bit, while you kind of sit back and you slow down, and then you just kind of vibing with life. And that gives you a certain type of patience, a certain type of way to think, a certain type of way to be like, you know what, let me think this through. Instead of quit being so fast that, you know what I'm saying, jump to certain things, I can slow down and appreciate certain things. So you learn a lot of self-peace. So again, it gives you time to cook another food. It teaches you patience on how not to rush things. You know what I'm saying? And it gives you wisdom, because after, you know what I'm saying, with wisdom, you have to make mistakes. You don't just know. Wisdom comes with mistakes, experience of mistakes of some sort. You see what I'm saying? And within doing so, we were just talking about feeding yourself. Now imagine if you're feeding loved ones, friends, family, and this paints a whole new picture. And this leads into our segment 2. Men's talk. So we just talked about the grill a little bit. So again, we're talking about kind of self at that moment. Like, even if you're a woman, you know what I'm saying, or a young lady, or, you know what I'm saying, a teen who's, you know what I'm saying, with the right provisions, learning how to do this. All right, just getting on my nerves. Learning how to be patient within your grilling, your skill set. So with that being the case, you know what I'm saying, you just kind of learning timing, not to rush life and everything. But now we're going to start adding people and how we can make this be different. You know what I'm saying? This is the different constructs of things. So, segment 2, Man's Talk. Man's Talk. The group off we all need. And by the group off, I mean we all need. Men need to have other brothers to talk to. Women need sisters to talk to. Teens need other teens to talk to. We all need these groups to sag off every now and then. This would be like, to have an understanding of different things. Be like, oh shoot, I'm not the only one to think this way. Or you can find a correction that you didn't think you needed, or a different way of guidance. You know what I'm saying? That you have, hopefully, ideally, like-minded individuals within the subtext where y'all can kind of be like, all right, we can have this conversation. And these things are imperative because it's a time, it's a vibe, it's a really, really, really good vibe. So that's what this is about. Sorry. The group up, we all need it. As that same grill is going, sometimes at a point in most grilling or family functions, men will link up. Same with the ladies, teens, kids, toddlers. Whole family starts to branch off. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a vibe. Love where you find understanding of different ideas, of different ways of thinking, of different theses, discussion across the board from different ethnic backgrounds. Just my point of overall, just like a good vibe. You know what I'm saying? And FYI, I don't watch sports. So, you know what I'm saying? Half the time, I'm seeing people having sports talk, and I ain't no hater to it. There's no, I ain't gonna really have an understanding to what you're saying if you're talking to me about sports. Like saying some sports. That's all I got for you. But I just don't have it. And with that being the case, you know what I'm saying? Again, it's a vibe. You know what I'm saying? Imagine if music gets thrown into this, and now you got the grill going. Typically, you know what I'm saying, at a grill, you know what I'm saying, people grilling, that whoever cooking, the group may be branched to the, you know what I'm saying, the grill. So the men may be branched a little bit more to the grill. You're hearing a little bit of this and that. They having a discussion and overstanding of these different things. Women are branched off in another place close by. You know what I'm saying? Doing the same thing. You hearing laughing, giggling, hearing the music in the background, your favorite song. Usually kickback stuff, you know what I'm saying? Stuff that they grew up on, you know what I'm saying? And it's a vibe. And you hear people just kind of, you know what I'm saying? You may hear cuss words here, there, and everything like that. But everybody in the vibe, it's a good time, you know what I'm saying? Seeing that somebody doing the old school stuff here and there, you know what I'm saying? And all this is needed because it's a way again for us to have a overstanding on who ourselves is, and is there a like-minded mind? Do we need to reevaluate ourselves? Because all these things happen, so it's a lot of things that happen that we don't pay attention to. And then you got to remember this: with that good time, so the grill going, you hearing music, everybody done started branching off now. With everybody branching off, guess who's watching? They say be careful what you're doing because you never know what eyes are watching. So the adults are branched off. The young ladies or the women, the young men. You know what I'm saying? Let's just do those two. So now you start seeing the kids who want to be a little nosy. Usually children. Teens, not as much. They kind of at a state where they like, yeah, we know what we know, and they kind of do their own thing with the rest of the teens and pre-teens. You know what I mean? But children want a little everything. And they want to see what the adults is doing. They want to see what the teenagers is doing. Then they want to branch off and do their thing. So they the little bit ones who doing probably the most watching. So you start seeing that young kid, man. I mean, young kid. We know what kids age is about. You know what I'm saying? Let's say, you know what I'm saying, 12 under. You know what I'm saying? 6 to 12-ish. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? You get into that state where you just kind of a little bit more curious. And 12 even is pushing it, but you know what I mean. Let's not get so complex with the age. But you start trying to go into the adult conversation, so you trying to hear what the man talking about. And, you know what I'm saying, the man know what's happening, so the man talking the code a little bit amongst themselves to not be too much for the kid. But then every once in a while, you hear them say, hey, get out of here. Or that older fella like, no, let them sit so they know how to conduct themselves and pay attention and know how, you know what I'm saying, you're supposed to handle business. But then run them off. And the same thing with the young ladies. So they learn from, the young men learn from the older adults how to talk, how to think things out, how to, you know what I'm saying, how they joke, how they, you know what I'm saying, deal with issues, you know what I'm saying, depending on this and that, and how to treat women, you know what I mean? Because at the same time, you got to understand, we all in the same vicinity, relaxing, hearing the vibe, you know what I'm saying, people doing their little things, drinking, smoking, so you got all these things going on. Everybody branched off, you know what I'm saying? And it's kind of doing these things. So now we go to the women. We still let the branch off, kind of. And now the young ladies are doing the same thing. Same about age. They start hearing the young women talk. And the women, ideally, are supposed to do the same. Let them hear a little game, women talking code. Sometimes put a young lady in so she can understand or overstand herself and get knowledge of something, self-awareness. And all this while the grill's going. So don't forget, you got life going on around. You're hearing music. You're hearing people laugh. You know what I'm saying? Jokes. Two-step. And we talking mess. You know what I'm saying? Across the board. You hear that older person. You don't know nothing about that step. You don't know nothing what you talking about. The young person shouting now. Now everybody's starting to talk mess. You know what I'm saying? They shouting back, man, what you talking about, man? Get a game of spades going. You know what I'm saying? Like, culturally, they're going to get a game of spades going. Maybe dominoes. You know what I'm saying? Like, just depending on where you at and where you from. You know what I'm saying? These little things is, you know what I'm saying? Like, and you know spades can get crazy. I'm not huge on spades, none of that. I used to play dominoes, you know what I'm saying? And it would get rough. You know what I'm saying? And people would be ready to go at it. But it was a vibe, you know what I'm saying? You hear all that, you know what I'm saying? And it was imperative and needed for everything. So, the grill, self-love, and you learning how to find patience, timing, and wisdom. Men's talk, which is also women's talk, which is also teen talk, which is also kid talk, and then this kind of toddlers doing their thing. And then you got segment 3, family. I already know I covered all this. The whole vibe. So I'm going to try to kind of get away from looking down as much, only because I'm trying to find a way to get this to be a little less chopped. I think I kind of turn people off because I'm choppy, trying to get my information that I write out. But with that being said, now again you're in the whole vibe. So now the family's mixed and the groups ain't as sectioned off. You know what I'm saying? So we all know if you're doing a grill out at the house, you know what I'm saying, you got family, friends over. And when I mean family, friends, you know we extended. You know what I'm saying? We got people, that's my cousin. Y'all known each other since Sandbox, you know what I'm saying? Or that's my sister. And y'all known each other since the Stafford. That's my brother. Y'all known each other, you know what I'm saying, a couple years, but y'all tight. Time don't per se matter, but it's that bond that y'all having. Everybody mixing and just having a good time. Everybody outside, you hear, you know, babies on the inside, on beds, taking rest and going to sleep, taking naps. So and put the baby to bed. All right, put them in such and such room. Close the door. You may go in that room and maybe 3 or 4 babies, you know what I'm saying, stacked up with different pillows and sectioned off. We know what we're supposed to do or how we did it. This is how we grew up. And that's the way that, you know what I'm saying, the family kind of did their thing. So now you got the toddlers. People in the front room doing the same thing. Maybe a sports game going. Bop, 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 talking stuff, yelling, talking crap to each other. Bro, you don't know what you're talking about. That's my favorite table. Wop. Another section, maybe in the kitchen. You know what I'm saying? Again, everybody mixed. The teens talking their stuff around in the yard for sure because they trying to stay away from the adults because all the stuff that they ain't trying to let us hear, they talking they mess because they think they got it. You know what I mean? And they making their mistakes and trying to figure out what is to learn and how to learn it. And then the men and the women are we just in full mess talking shit to each other. And it's a beautiful, beautiful vibe. And these small wins are important because, again, life is a setup. So we have to know how to enjoy these small wins, how family is important, whether it's blood, extended. We have to do these things because if we lose sight of that, we can't go forward. Again, this is going back to that village. So everything's back to that village and that way of thinking everything. So it's needed. Is what I'm saying. Small wins are needed. Good vibes are needed. One love is all love. Again, so Rastafari, you know what I'm saying, is the way, in my opinion. Because for those who don't know and say a whole bunch of weird opinions, you look at real Rastafarians, you know what I'm saying, it grew and it changed as life was changing itself. So it elevated and it also transitioned in its evolution along the way. So no longer do they think certain things. So people think you got to grow locks, you know what I'm saying, to be Rastafari. No. People think you got to be black to be Rastafari. No. You think you don't eat meat. You can eat meat. You can do all these things as long as you don't harm somebody. But it is more so encouraged for you not to, you know what I'm saying, eat meat. It's more so encouraged for you not to engage in alcohol. It's so much more encouraged for you not to display into Babylon and throw yourself into idol worship. You're supposed to put people's feet to the fire and do stuff that way. So again, that's what helps me always get myself grounded. That's why I like it, because it's always telling you to appreciate everything. So that's why one love is all love, and you hear me say things like that. Anyway, this one's a little shorter. I'm going to try to make them a little shorter. Hopefully this work out. I ain't trying to annoy people. I'm just trying to give out information. I love y'all, Rasta family. I appreciate y'all, Rasta family. And I got to give a big shout out to the next saga we're going to work on, to my boy TC. I'm scripting it and I'm learning how to do it. And hopefully, ideally, I'm going to come up with an idea. Like, if I'm able to, like, touch the person, so to speak, and I get an idea, hopefully I can get a moment where I can pick his brain and see what made him think of attacking a nuclear family, because that is something that's real. So I appreciate you, TC, Mr. TC, great brother, great brother. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate that. So with that being said, bless up, spiritual alignment, one love, bless up. All things are great in the name of Jah. One love, peace, get a Rasta locks. Thank you. Hit that subscribe button, notification bell, and comment below where you from.